Let's go. Queen Esther, Tiff, how y'all doing? I know it's been a minute. The soul experience. All right now. Hey, Tiff. Who else came in? I saw somebody else come in. Say hey, let me know your name and where you're from. My name is Anita, and I am the Living Unashamed speaker and success coach. I know it's been a minute since I've been on, a couple of days, but it's because I was at the Act Like a Success conference, Steve Harvey's conference. It was held in Atlanta this year. And he is just, Steve Harvey is crazy. He is. And he dropped a lot of gold nuggets on us. They wondered if I've been missing your skulls. No, girl, I was in Atlanta acting a donkey. I was in Atlanta having a good time. Listening to all of the speakers. Steve came by. I mean, it was Steve's conference, so he was there full time every day. Todd Chrisley came by. Tamar came by. T-Bars and Chili was walking through the hotel. So, you know, folks got excited about that. Some folks took pictures. I was there for the information, and it was absolutely great. It was great. If you get a chance next year, attend the Act Like a Success conference. Not sure where it's going to be held or what the date is right now, but if you sign up, join the Facebook group, Act Like a Success. It's always posted in there. That gives you a heads up to when tickets are going to start to sell. And they sell out rather quickly because there are those of us that are repeat offenders that keep going back so that we keep growing and we keep building. I, on a success tip, wanted to come on today and talk to you guys about my secret story process to success. It's a process that I've been using for a while with clients, and it's a really, really simple process. Hey, Will, it's a very, very simple process. Secret story process to success, 4 steps. And it follows the acronym GROW, G.R.O.W. So in this process, when you grow, I want you to think about it on the face of a clock, and where you have 12, 3, 6, 9, and then you're back to 12 again. But as time continues to move, your life moves, and it should move on a spiral. So every time you pass that 12 o'clock, your life should be spiraling up. You should never be in the same place during the same time of year. There should always be something about you that's different. Maturity, something about you that's growing, whether it's financial, spiritual, emotional, mental, your job, whatever it is, there's something in your life. Amen. I know, right? You should always be working on getting better. That's one of the things that my grandfather used to say all the time. Always be working at getting better. Always be working at getting better. So if you think about my growth process, you put it on the clock, like I said, and it's 12, 3, 6, 9. And think about the spiral that goes as your life goes up. Each year, you're getting better and better. Each year, you set goals for yourself and you obtain those goals, whatever they are. Learning to speak a different language, traveling abroad, taking more vacation time, whatever it is. Invest in yourself in some way. Exactly. Invest in yourself in some way. What's up, girl? How you doing? Invest in yourself in some way. So let's get into the growth process that I wanted to talk about. G.R.O.W. G stands for goal. Whatever that goal is, that dream is, that mission is, whatever you're setting for yourself, your goal, you identify it by name, by specifics, learning a foreign language. You want to learn to speak Spanish. You want to be proficient 10% by this time next year. Set a goal that is measurable. Don't just say, I want to get rich. What business do you plan to own? How do you plan to market this business? Is this business viable in your area already? Is it online? Is it brick and mortar? Be very specific about your goal. Next is the R. Now in GROW, G-R, the R is let's take a real look at the goal and see just how practical and viable it is for you to obtain. For instance, if you're an admin assistant and you have no college classes, you have no college credits, you don't have a degree, and you're currently working an admin assistant job, let's say making $10 an hour. You can't apply for a job as a VP or an exec in a Fortune 500 company. Maybe an executive assistant that may get you a little closer, then you can take the classes that you need to close that gap to qualify for that position. But let's talk about just how real that goal is and how quickly you can obtain it. Hey, now you're speaking my language as a behavioralist. We must have measurable goals. Yes. Everybody has a dream, and that dream is big and it's an overview. But break that dream down into actionable steps, into goals, measurable goals. Let's talk about how real it is and whether or not you can obtain it. So like I said, the secret story, success process. 4 steps, and it follows G.R.O.W, grow. Because each year you should be working at getting better at something. You should be growing in some area of your life. So I've covered the G and the O, G and the R. I'm still in Atlanta, y'all. I'm tired. We had a ball in Atlanta for the Act Like a Success conference. We were down there we had college undergrad fun. Let me just put it like that. We did. G-R-O. Okay, so now the O, let's look at your options. What options do you have for obtaining this goal? What can you do? Thank you. Oh, girl. What can you do? Thank you. What can you do? What do you have accessible to you already that will help you take the first step? Thank you. Towards obtaining that goal. What step can you take? What options do you have? How serious is this goal? Other options, do you live close to a college? Or is it that if you made the decision to get a degree, you would have to pack up and move to an area where a college actually is? The college that you're thinking about moving towards, does that college even have your major? I talk to high school students all the time that pick a college based on the fun somebody else was having. You want to major in mass communications, but that college doesn't have the mass communications major. And if I can figure that out on an iPhone in less than 5 minutes, and you've been talking about this college for 2 months, why is it you don't know that already? What are your options for obtaining the goal? Right, wrong reasons, wrong reasons. Want to go to college to party because somebody else had a good time. You got to make sure all of your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. They have to have your major. It has to be affordable to you. There has to be a way for you to pay for those classes and food while you're in college. G-R-O-W. Okay, so if we think about setting the goal as 12, and we think about assessing how real that goal is at 3 on the clock, okay? And then you move to 6 with the O, where you write down and review all of your options, all of the ways that this goal can be obtained. What is available to you? Where can you start? Where do you need to start? And then you move around to the 9. And the 9 is where the ramp begins, because that's where you actually start putting the work in to get it done. W-E-R-K. Silly Shaw. Hi, come on in. That's where you actually start putting the work in to get it done. Because anything worth having is you're going to have to bust your butt working to make it happen. Anything worth having is worth working for. You're going to have to, there are going to be a lot of late nights. There are going to be a lot of early mornings. You're going to have to stretch in order to obtain that goal. And then from 9 to 12, work. That's right. W-E-R-K. You're going to have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. So from 9 to 12 is where you're taking those steps and you're measuring how you're doing at obtaining that goal. So when you pass 12 again, you shouldn't have that same goal. You can have the same attainment that you want. Like, for instance, you want a college degree, but you shouldn't still be wanting the college degree. You should have some credits towards it. You should be working towards it, because most of the time people like quick fixes, but quick fixes take the longest to give a return. In order to really have success in your life, however you define it, in order to have success in your life, you're going to have to put some time in. And putting that time in, working, W-E-R-K, to make it happen. That's my G.R.O.W. is the acronym. That is the process to success, the secret story process to success that I just shared with you. Thanks, Tim, that I just shared with you, that I have been using with clients of all ages for years. Really simple, 4 steps. Annually, you can pick any date you want, your birthday, Christmas, August 1st, whatever date resonates with you. Sit down on that date every year and assess the areas of your life. Financial, spiritual, emotional, mental. Look at all of those areas. 3 and 6 and R. Okay, what I was saying was, think about it on the face of a clock. And as you pass, 12 is where you start. So that's where you set your goal. Okay, so then when you pass the 3 and the 6 and the 9, think of your life going around the clock. But as time churns and time passes in your life should be spiraling up. You should be growing in something every year. You should be always working at getting better. You should be working at obtaining something every year. So what I did was I took the acronym for G.R.O.W, G.R.O.W. G is where you set the goal, that's 12. R is 3, that's where you assess just how real the goal is. 6 is the O, that's where you look at what are my options and how can I obtain this? What's the first step? How close am I to already getting it? What options do I have that I can put into play to begin to move toward accomplishing this, so that I can then in turn feel wonderful, feel that accomplishment, and feel that level of success. Girl, I was one that had to come up with acronyms so that I could remember things and I could actually make decent grades. That was me. I had to have some kind of memory mnemonic. I had to have an acronym, put it on numbers, and I find that it works with other people also. And there isn't any age limit, because my older clients say 35, 40. It works with them just as well as it works when I had 6th graders. So anything so that we can continue to grow and move forward. And that's another thing, because people like to get ashamed real quick if they need help with something. We all need help with something. There's nobody that has ever accomplished anything on their own. Nobody. I don't care who it is or what they tell you about. They pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps. They're a liar. Somebody gave them the boots to put on their feet in the first place. Somebody taught them how to tie their shoes. Somebody taught them how to ride a bicycle. Nobody does anything alone. So if you need help with something, reach out, ask. And in today's time, it's really easy, because there are tons and tons of Facebook groups. You can just post it out on Twitter. You can post it into forums, and then be very discerning of the answers that you get back. Which ones make sense? Look at the person that is answering the question and use that information to help better yourself and better your situation. Nobody should ever be in the same place year after year after year. You should always be growing. Always work at getting better. Always work at getting better. I am going to try to get some sleep tonight so that I can process some thought tomorrow. I am mentally still walking the Atlanta streets, enjoying the Atlanta hotel, enjoying the Atlanta Southern cuisine. We really had a great time. Look up the Act Like a Success Conference. Google it. Steve Harvey is everybody's uncle. So there is no telling who drops by. Like I said earlier I said Todd Chrisley was there. He spoke. He did an interview. Tamar dropped by. He is hilarious. I just put my head down when Doreen Rainey started interviewing Todd Chrisley, because I just could not believe what was coming out of his mouth was actually coming out of his mouth. But you know, there were some nuggets there for personal development and for business development, because of course he has children that he says are rather hard to raise. So a lot of the parents got some feedback. He gave out some great information for setting up trust and not leaving children an abundance of funds that they don't have the character to manage. He gave out some great information. So look up the conference. Know that there are those of us that are followers that are 2 and 3 and 4 Peters, and we'll be back next year, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for the compliments telling me that it was a great scope, because you know, a sister has been gone for a while. I was up some really late nights. I'm gonna try to even everything out tonight and get some sleep. Everybody have a good evening. Talk to you guys later.